Committee. This meeting has been held remotely and also in person and will be filmed and recorded for live and subsequent broadcast available through the Council's website. The Council is a data controller under the General Data Protection Regulations and the Data Protection Act of 2018. We broadcast and record Council meetings to fulfil our public task obligation to enable members of the public to observe the democratic process. Data collected during the process will be retained in accordance with the Council's published policies available through the Council's website. Members of the Council are reminded that they should follow the Council's established meetings protocols, including around the use of the chat facility, and the comments made in the chat facility are visible to all participants in the meeting, which may include members of the public who have also received invites to the meeting. Okay, so it's a special meeting of the Environment and Regeneration Committee today, and we're here to discuss objections in relation to Traffic Regulation Order number 52024. It's my understanding that the complainant is not going to be here. So, Peter, I don't know if you want to just kind of run us through with the process. They were still involved. Gordon to come in and go through the roads.
Yeah, I would still give.
Yeah.
Gordon puts time and effort into a presentation for us, so just give him the opportunity. Just want to click on all these things.
Yeah, restricted declarations. Convener, we have apologies from Councillor Brooks and also from Councillor Daisley to be substituted by Councillor Reynolds. Do a roll call. Can the following councillors please indicate if they're present at the meeting? Councillor Cassidy.
Present remotely.
Councillor Clockery.
Present in chamber.
Councillor Crowther.
Present in chamber.
Councillor Curley.
Present chamber.
Councillor Hellier.
Present in the chamber.
Councillor McCormick.
Present in the chamber.
Provost Mackenzie.
In the chamber.
Councillor Nelson. Councillor Quinn. Councillor Reynolds.
Present remotely.
Are there any declarations of interest?
No. Okay.
You can do that. Just a quick summary. It seems we don't have the objector here, and the members have been through this process before. I'll try and make this brief. So the conveners just done a short introduction. The hearing itself would normally take the form of roads would set out their position on it. We'd give the objectors a chance to state theirs, and then we each get a chance to answer each other's points. And this is, as we don't have an objector here, there are obviously no points for roads to answer, but I would suggest that we still allow them to make their position clear. It's then open to members to put questions to the roads officers, and then depending on the views of the members, we can, if you want to deliberate matters, we would normally go into private session to do that, or alternatively, the view that you haven't considered the terms of the objections and the points made by the roads, we're ready to make a decision on it. You can make the decision then, but we would normally have the decision in public.
Okay, thank you. Gordon, you want to just...
Thank you, Councillor. So, a resident in Lomond Avenue, Port Glasgow, applied for a disabled person's parking space. They submitted their documents and met the requirements of the Disabled Persons Parking Places Scotland Act 2009 as a qualified person. The Act then requires the local authority to assess the road to determine if a parking space can be provided. Having assessed Lomond Avenue, the Council identified an appropriate location and marked a bay outside number 16 Lomond Avenue. The local authority aims to introduce disabled person parking places as close to the applicant's address as possible. On this occasion, the presence of a driveway at number 10 and number 12, and the distance between the two driveways being 4.6 metres, and the required length of a disabled bay being 6.6 metres, we couldn't put the disabled bay directly across from the applicant's house. Therefore, we chose the nearest suitable location outside number 16. Now, the applicant stays on the opposite side of the road, but all the cars park on the opposite side of the applicant's house. Sorry, I made that slightly confusing. So all the cars park opposite the house, so we couldn't put a car outside the house because then no vehicles would be able to get past. So the most suitable location was outside number 16, which is diagonally across from the applicant's house. And the rest of the information is in the report.
Okay, thanks, Gordon. Any questions for Gordon? Yes.
Thanks. I noticed that the location of the applicant's actually house to the proposed parking. I was there last night. I noticed it said there was two. It's already been lined out as far as I can see, but it's not under restriction at the moment because that'll become separate if the decision's made today. That's fine. With respect to there's some discussion within the papers about if there was actually a drop curb there installed on the property. If that was to be done, would this parking bay effectively become unusable as soon as they made an application to do a drop curb at this location, or would they not be able to make an application now because there's now a parking place right outside?
So if they were to apply for a driveway at their house, they need to apply for a footway crossover, which needs to come to the roads department anyway. So if they were to apply for it, then we would have to look at the location of the disabled bay, whether we could put the disabled bay in a suitable location elsewhere before we can grant, because this will obviously come before the application for the driveway. So we need to look to see whether there's a suitable location another suitable location for the disabled parking space to go, and then we would need to move it. If we could find another one, then we would look at another suitable location if there is one close to the house.
Sorry, just come back on that point, sorry if I can. Sorry, John. So just on that, so would if the sort of timescales, I'm probably just going to do a wee bit of a wrap up here, and I do apologise. Would what be the timescales involved in moving that access? Because I presume if somebody gets the consent to actually cross the footpath, then effectively if somebody parks over the driveway, then it then becomes a legal issue, doesn't it? Because you can't get access to your car. So there's how quickly would you, as a council, be able to manage that sort of situation? Just trying to think ahead of the problems.
We could remove the lines as quickly as is humanly possible for us to get a road marker down to that. But although they apply for it, it would probably be, because the disabled bay would have got in first, I probably wouldn't move it until the driveway was created. So I would probably that would be one of the conditions of them getting it. They would need to make it, and then they would move the bay. So we'd probably have a bit of time there in between for us to be able to move the bay.
Right, there's no foreseeable issues of that happening.
There's no foreseeable issues.
Okay, right, thank you.
Thank you, Camille. Am I right to say that there is already another disabled bay within the street?
Correct, another application for another one, yes.
And how far from this proposed disabled bay is the applicant? How far is the front door to where this disabled bay is going to be? Would you say off the top of your head?
I would say from me to that over there.
So
the distance across the road, I'm going to say diagonally, the road's probably 4 or 5 metres wide, so 7-8 metres.
Okay, that's. And another question for our interest: the complainant was saying that their elderly relative stayed in this house, number 16. If the daughter or whoever it is, are they entitled to a disabled badge if they're coming to pick their mother up? Is that the way it works? No.
It's the actual, I don't like to say, it's the person with the badge needs to be in the car when they're parking. So it needs to be the person who's got the badge that allows them to use the space. It can't be for a carer coming to pick them up.
Thank you.
Okay, John.
Thank you, convener. Just looking at the layout of the road and the number of driveways. Now, when these houses were actually built, I take it that the driveways there would be historical and probably pre-Inverclyde Council. If that is indeed the case, there would be no issue, as far as I'm concerned, about the legality of those driveways. But there was one that was mentioned there, that a property 18 Lomond Avenue, which was removed in 2009, the applicant moved away and the property now has a driveway. Is that a legal driveway? Was that an application made for a driveway there?
Unfortunately, off the top of my head, Councillor, I couldn't answer that question. I would need to go and look at it and come back to you. I would suspect that the answer for that is yes. If you need to apply for a footway crossover to build a driveway, yes, that should be the process. But as we all know, there is some that haven't got approval. But
Yeah.
I would expect that in that time frame that there was approval. Yes.
Yeah, it was really just to inquire whether that would have any kind of implication on this application. That was all.
Thank you. The applicant, you wouldn't happen to know the partner campus present time, do you?
No. I'm going to say it's on the road across the road somewhere because that's where all the cars are parked. So I would.
It was to say something.
So I suppose. Allows me at the moment we'll be in the advisory bay because the advisory bay is marked. So prior to the bay being marked, I probably couldn't tell you. But as soon as we choose it to be an appropriate location, then the Act says we need to mark the bay as soon as possible. So although it's not legally enforced, we've got to mark it as it is. So I'm assuming that parking at that bay.
There was a car there last night anyway.
Anybody else? No? So do you want to go into private to discuss further or? Yeah? Okay. Hey Gordon, so after having a discussion, we're in agreement that the disabled parking whatever else was on. So 2.4.1 will dismiss the objection, approve the proposed PROs detailed in Appendix 3 and remit it to the head of Legal, Democratic, Digital and Customer Services to formally make the PRO and carry out the associated actions in connection with the same. Okay, thank you very much everybody for your
Thank you.
Good.